Prepare to embark on an extraordinary voyage that will take you on a spine-tingling adventure through the vast expanse of space. Get ready to buckle up and join us as we strap in for an exhilarating ride, touring the solar system. Brace yourself for heart-pounding encounters with majestic gas giants, mesmerizing rings, mysterious moons, and so much more. Leave your preconceptions at the door and open your mind to the wonders that await as we delve into the depths of our cosmic neighborhood, unlocking the secrets and marveling at the cosmic tapestry woven around our very own star, the Sun. With thousands of exotic exoplanets known, the worlds of our solar system may seem rather dull. Trust us, they're not. Here is a tour of the planets in our solar system. Earth. Our planet, despite all the challenges we face living on it, is an unparalleled abode for life. Located in the Sun's so-called Goldilocks zone, the energy we receive from our host star is just right. It keeps Earth warm enough that liquid water can happily exist on the surface, but it's also weak enough that our oceans don't boil away. Then there's our atmosphere. What a blessing! This thick, but not oppressive, gaseous envelope not only provides us with the oxygen we need to breathe, but also protects us from all but the most formidable stray space rocks. And let's not forget our planet's magnetic field. Generated deep within Earth's liquid outer core, which surrounds a solid inner core, this magnetic shield defends us from the constant onslaught of high-energy particles spewed out by the Sun as the solar wind. But impressive as Earth is, life has existed here for billions of years. And we already know quite a lot about our homeworld, even if there's still plenty left to discover. So instead of looking inward, let's look out. Let's take a quick tour of the other planets our solar system has to offer. Along the way, we'll brush up on what we already know, as well as what we may soon find out. Mercury. Mercury, which is the smallest and innermost planet, is constantly cooked by sunlight. Despite its proximity to our star, it's not the hottest world in our solar system. Still, Mercury experiences wild temperature swings unlike those found on any other planet. On the day side, the Sun penetrates the planet's thin, fleeting atmosphere and bakes the surface. But because there isn't much air to distribute that heat, the temperature on the planet's night side plunges to hundreds of degrees below zero. The Sun also helps give Mercury another peculiar trait. The world has a faint comet-like tail. Mercury's feeble atmosphere contains sodium, which glows when excited by sunlight. Plus, the diminutive world doesn't have much gravity, only about twice the gravity of the Moon. This means pressure from sunlight striking Mercury can liberate sodium molecules, forcing them downwind of the planet and creating a dimly glowing tail. Thanks to its thin atmosphere, Mercury is also prone to impacts. This has left it with a rather pockmarked appearance. And to make matters worse, it's wrinkled with age. The world has steep, cliff-like north-south ridges that stretch all over its surface. Researchers think they might have formed as Mercury cooled after its birth, causing the planet to shrink and its crust to slightly crumple. Venus. Despite being the most brilliant planet in our sky, Venus offers little visual oomph when observed from afar. That's because its surface is shrouded by thick, omnipresent clouds. These poisonous puffs trap heat that would otherwise escape into space, making it the most sweltering planet in the solar system, hot enough to melt lead on its surface. But don't worry about burning up. If you were to stand there, the atmosphere, made mostly of carbon dioxide laced with sulfuric acid, is so dense that the pressure would collapse your lungs and kill you instantly. Despite its hellish environment, Venus holds many fascinating mysteries. For one, it's strikingly similar to Earth in size and composition. And yet, the worlds have led two very different lives, with Venus experiencing a runaway greenhouse effect in its past. Unlike Mercury, whose bulky iron core accounts for some 75% of the planet's mass, the core of Venus is thought to be relatively Earth-like, differentiated into a solid inner core and a molten outer core. However, Venus does not internally generate a discernible magnetic field like Earth does, which might be because it rotates backwards so slowly that a Venusian day is longer than a Venusian year. Mars. As the most explored world in the solar system, save Earth, Mars has enjoyed the lion's share of planetary research funding for several decades. We've come a long way since Italian astronomer Giovanni Schiaparelli first mapped his Martian channels, which was mistranslated to canals, in 1877. Nearly a century later, in 1965, NASA accomplished the first up-close and personal flyby of Mars with Mariner 4. Jupiter. Like Mars, Jupiter has received a lot of attention during the era of space exploration. That began with Pioneer 10, which flew by the gas giant in 1973. It was rapidly followed by Pioneer 11, 1974, Voyager 1, 1979, and Voyager 2, 1979. Each of these missions had its scientific objectives, but collectively, they revealed a world of confounding complexity. Saturn. The surreal je ne sais quoi of Saturn has captivated observers for centuries. That's largely because the world's stunning rings span some 170,000 miles, 274,000 kilometers, or about 2.5 times the width of the planet itself. But get this, they might be as little as 30 feet, 10 meters, thick in some places. So when the planet is tilted just so to our line of sight, presenting its ring system side-on, those rings all but vanish from our view. The world's glimmering rings are made of countless pieces of dirty water ice that range in size from dust grains to mountains. Uranus. Unlike the gas giants Jupiter and Saturn, the solar system's more distant ice giants have largely received the cold shoulder from robotic spacecraft. But thanks to a fortunate planetary alignment that occurs only once every 175 years, NASA's ambitious Voyager 2 mission flew by the solar system's seventh planet, Uranus, in 1986. Like both its bloated inner siblings, Uranus hosts a ring system, though it is much fainter than that of Saturn. The rings around Uranus were initially discovered in 1977 by astronomers aboard the Kuiper Airborne Observatory, an airplane equipped with an infrared telescope. Neptune. You'd expect the solar system's most distant planet, which is some 30 times farther from the Sun than Earth, to be pretty chill. But although aquamarine Neptune is cold, it's not calm. Neptune sports the strongest winds in the solar system, which can whip across the gaseous planet at speeds up to 1,200 miles per hour, 2,000 kilometers/h. That's about 1.5 times the speed of sound. Plus, about half the time, the world hosts at least one giant anticyclonic storm called a Great Dark Spot, which is thought to take on a shadowy appearance because its strong winds tear a hole in Neptune's methane-laced cloud deck. However, unlike Jupiter's seemingly immortal Great Red Spot, Neptune's fierce storms usually pop up and disappear within just a few years. Pluto. Pluto, despite what the International Astronomical Union says, is still a planet in the minds of many. And whether it's a planet or dwarf planet, nearly all agree Pluto is a fascinating world. Covered in plains of nitrogen ice and textured with mountain ranges of frozen water, this demoted world was closely studied less than 7 years ago by NASA's New Horizons spacecraft. As our exhilarating expedition through the wonders of touring the solar system draws to a close, we are left with a profound sense of both awe and reverence. We have traversed the celestial highways, venturing from the scorching embrace of the sun to the frigid realms of distant planets. We have marveled at the dazzling rings of Saturn, the turbulent storms of Jupiter, and the mysterious moons that dance around each planetary body. If you found our video informative, kindly subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out on our videos.